Okay, simplex method na tayo. Okay, so sa simplex, it is an iterative process, as I've said, and you have to move from corner point to corner point. Pero the movement is to an adjacent corner point. Hindi pwedeng non-adjacent. It's a movement from one corner point to an adjacent corner point until the optimum is reached. So if you imagine yung graph natin kanina, okay, you move from O, then to A, and then to B. Since B is optimum, tigil ka na. So at any iteration, it is guaranteed that the solution is better or at least equal to the previous. In other words, sa simplex method, you cannot move from one point, one corner point to another corner point na mas mababa yung z value. Okay, pag nagma-maximize ka. Okay? So you cannot do that. So therefore, papakita ko ito. Here. Okay? So I cannot move from B to C. Hindi pwede yung movement na to from B to C. Kasi since I'm maximizing, if I'm coming from a Z value of 56, I cannot move to a point that is inferior, which is 52. Okay, so the simplex method will not move there. So therefore, kapag nag-umpisa yan sa O, sa A, sa B, hindi siya mag-move sa C kasi C is inferior and therefore titigil na siya dito. It will automatically tell you to stop at point B because it's the optimal solution. Okay, so yun yung sa simplex. And then, solution moves to an adjacent feasible corner point. So alam niyo na yun. So, ito na yung simplex algorithm. We have around 7 steps. We have to finish this. I'll stretch the recording until 12:45. So if you have to leave at 12:30, just let me know. Okay, and then just listen to the recorded lecture. So I just need to finish this algorithm. Okay, number 1, alam na natin to. Convert the LP model to standard form. That's the very first step, and which we have done already earlier. Okay, number 2, okay, nagawa na natin to. Itong model na to, ang bago lang is this one. In converting to standard form, kanina, we retained it at maximize Z equal to 4x1 plus 5x2. Pero to prepare it for the simplex solution, you transpose all the variables to the left side. Okay? So it becomes negative 4x1 minus 5x2 equal to 0. Okay? So sa simplex, each equation represents one row in the table. Later on, we will come up with the simplex table or what we call the simplex tableau. Each equation is one row. Usually, the topmost row, okay, is your objective function row. Pero if you read other books or references, a lot of those books will have your objective function row as the last row. Pero sa lecture ko, I would have the objective function row as the topmost row in the top tableau. It doesn't matter naman, okay, whether it's topmost or bottommost row. Pero just to let you know, baka dito kayo, when you read other books, sa ibang book, nasa baba yung 0. Okay, yung objective function row. Okay, so each equation is one row, so that means that you will have 4 rows in your tableau. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, kasi meron kang Z equation and then the 3 equations for your constraints. So now, this is the standard form. The Z equation, dapat yung mga variables i-transpose nyo rin sa left side. Okay. Next, the second step. Okay, so I'll circle the steps. First step. Second step. Okay. Second step is to identify, as I said, initial solution. It has to be a feasible basic solution. So what you do is you determine in that system how many excess variables do you have. So alam na natin, you have 5 variables and you have 3 equations. So 2 variables are excess and they must be assumed to be 0. Okay? So there's a note here. If all of the constraints are of the less than or equal to type, then the origin is a convenient starting solution This is so because there is no need to solve the system. I've already explained that earlier. Sabi ko, you don't need to solve system of equations anymore to solve for the remaining variables. All you have to do is when you assume x1 and x2 to be 0, makikita nyo na that s1 is 20, s2 is 12, and s3 is 20. Okay, so therefore, your initial basic solution is the output of your second step. Ito yung output mo. Okay, that's the output. So you will see that x1, okay, so ito yung standard form natin, but remember to transpose this to the left side, to transpose this to the left side also. Okay, and then equate it to 0. Okay, so if you make x1 and x2 your variables assumed to 0, then you easily solve for s1, s2, s3 to be 20, 12, and 20. So this becomes your initial basic feasible solution for your simplex to get going. Okay? Next step. So once you have your initial solution, so laging first step standard form. Tapos sa tabi ng standard form, ilagay nyo na yung second step. Bilangin nyo na kung ilang variables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ilang equations, 1, 2, 3, and then determine nyo na yung excess variables, which is 0. And then, pwede nyo na rin ilagay dito, pag lahat ng constraint mo less than or equal to, no, origin is a convenient starting solution. Pag may greater than constraint yung model mo, then that's another methodology. Okay? Which is yung next lesson na i-reading assignment ko sa inyo. You have to read the slides and answer a problem. Okay? Using whatever you have understood from the slides. And then pagbalik natin after Independent Learning Week, we will answer that together in class to see whether you understood what you read or not. Okay? So, for this session, we are only going to solve a model na puro less than equal to lang constraint. Pag may greater than constraint, that would be another simplex methodology. Parang a variation of the simplex methodology. Okay, so you have that already, no? Initial solution. Third step. As I've said, each equation is a row in the table. So the third step, kailangan ma-construct nyo tong table na to. So first, basic. Basis means it's the basic variable column. And that's why, if you look at the previous step, ina-identify ko lagi kung ano yung basic at ano yung non-basic. Okay, if you recall, a few minutes ago, non-basic variables are those that are assumed to be 0, and basic variables are those that are solved in the system. Yun yung mga may values usually. Pero pwede rin mag-0 yung value, in which case we have a degenerate corner point. Okay? So, yan yung basic. So therefore, doon sa basis column, ang makikita ko dapat is S1, S2, S3 kasi sila yung basic variables. So ito yon, S1, S2, S3. As I've said, your Z would be the first row. Okay? Tapos dito sa taas, just enumerate all the variables here. Ito, dito sa pinakataas, parang label natin yan. This label is basic variable, label, column, and then etong mga to, just enumerate x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, and this solution is actually your right-hand side, yung constant mo sa right-hand side. We call it solution kasi yan yung values ng basic variables mo in that iteration. Kaya solution siya. Yan yung pinaka-value na masosolve mo for your basic variables. So, after you have set up this table, again, yung table nyo, yung label nyo should be basic first, basis, then write down all the variables, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, and then write down the word solution as your solution column, which is actually your right-hand side. Okay, and then on the left side, under basis, you put the first row as z, this one, and then the next 3 rows as your basic variables. Okay, S1, S2, and S3, the basic variables in your initial solution. Okay, and then what you have to do now is to transfer your coefficients. Okay, so as you can see, this In standard form, di ba, yung kinuha natin, this becomes z minus 4x1 minus 5x2 equal to 0. So, transfer negative 4 and negative 5 here, okay, under x1 and x2 kasi these columns that you created, yung x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, okay, dyan natin ilalagay under those labels yung coefficients ng bawat variable sa objective function and also sa mga constraints. So, for the objective function in standard form, transfer negative 4, negative 5, and wala namang S1, S2, S3, so 0 lang yan. And the value, the right-hand side value of your Z is this one. So therefore, you put 0 initially. Okay? Ang sinasabi lang nito is that at corner point O, x1 and x2 are equal to 0 and your Z is equal to 0. Okay? So yun ang sinasabi niya. Next, let's go to the constraint. Coefficient nito is 1, 2, 1, and then 0, 0. So 1, 2, 1, 0, 0. And then the right-hand side is 20. So I hope you see that, no? Let's go to the second constraint. Coefficient will be 1, 1, 1. Okay? So x1 is 1. This one. x2 is 1. Walang S1 sa equation 2, so 0 yung coefficient. Coefficient ng S2 is 1. Walang S3, so 0 yung coefficient. The right-hand side is 12. Okay? And then finally, the last constraint, 2 yung coefficient ng X1, 1 yung coefficient ng X2, walang S1, walang S2, 1 yung coefficient ng S3. The right-hand side is 20. So basically, from the standard form, you are just transferring the coefficients of the variables in the standard form into this table. So once you've set up this table, we now go to step number 4. Okay? So naka-label naman dito sa table na to na itong mga to, ito pala, ito. Yan. It represents the constraint coefficients of the variables in this iteration, whereas this one represents the objective function coefficients. Objective function coefficients, OFC. Okay? So let's go to the fourth step. Ito yung fourth step. Okay, yan yung fourth step. Observation lang. At all times, the simplex tableau should be here. At all times, the simplex tableau should be such that the coefficients of the basic variables in the zero, balik lang ako ha. Okay. Okay. You will see that in your iteration 1, this is corner point O, that is 0. These are the basic variables, and these are your non-basic variables. Okay? So itong tatlo, basic. Itong dalawa, non-basic. So makikita ninyo, the coefficients sa objective function row, 0 lahat. Basta pag basic variable ka sa iteration na yon, 0 dapat ang coefficient mo sa objective function. That's the first observation. Second observation, the constraint coefficients of the basic variables. Itong tatlo, yan yung basic variables mo. Look at this. Ito yung constraint coefficients, okay, ng basic variables. They form an identity matrix. Okay? And then, last observation in this tableau is that the value of Z and all the basic variables can be read on the solution column. So as you can see, at corner point O, we know that the value of Z is 0. And at corner point O, in this initial iteration, we also know from step 2 that the value of S1, S2, S3 are 20, 12, and 20. Ito yun. Okay? Kaya, yung solution column mo represents the values of Z and your basic variables in this particular iteration. So, in other words, after solving the system simultaneously, yan na yung mga values ng remaining variables mo. They are all reflected and directly read from the solution column. Okay? So, yan yung mga observations. So, let's proceed to step 4. After you've transferred in step 3, yung mga coefficients ng standard form into the table, into the simplex tableau, you now check if the current solution is optimal. So, kailangan tandaan nyo itong mga optimality test na to. So, you have to go back to your notes or just recall it as you solve more LP models using simplex. Optimality test. A solution is optimal if all the coefficients of the non-basic variables in the Z row or objective function row are non-negative for maximization, non-positive for minimization models. If optimal, you stop. If not optimal, you go to step 5. So, apply natin to. So, you have to remember, this is a maximization problem. So, ang mag-a-apply na optimality test is this one. All the coefficients of the non-basic variables in the Z row are non-negative for maximization. Okay? Non-negative meaning 0 or positive na dapat ang coefficient ng mga non-basic variables. Okay? Kaya it is important, class, importante na sa bawat tableau or bawat iteration nyo, ina-identify nyo sa taas kung ano yung basic at ano yung non-basic variables doon sa iteration na yon. Okay? Importante na ma-identify nyo. So in this first iteration, in-identify na natin yung basic as S1, S2, S3 and yung non-basic as X1 and X2. So ang kailangan nating tignan, sabi natin sa observation, number 1, 0 palagi yung coefficient ng basic variables sa Z row. Okay? Sa objective function row. So hindi na natin papansinin ito sa optimality test. Ang kailangan nating tignan sa optimality test is this one. Okay? I will encircle it. Yung coefficient ng non-basic variable sa objective function row, sa first row. So sabi sa ano natin, kapag non-negative na, optimal na. Okay? Pag maximization problem. Pag non-negative na, optimal na. Pag may at least isang negative na coefficient doon sa objective function row, hindi pa optimal yan. Then you have to go to step 5. So since you will see that dalawa pang variables, dalawang non-basic variables have negative coefficients here in the objective function row, then hindi pa optimal yan. Okay? That means not yet optimal. This tableau is not yet optimal. So therefore, therefore, you have to go to step 5. What is step 5? You move to an adjacent feasible corner point. So, kanina sa graphical, we started our initial solution sa point O. So, sabi dito sa step 5, you have to move. Since point O is not yet the optimal corner point, you have to move to an adjacent feasible corner point. Okay? Dapat mag-move ka to an adjacent feasible corner point. So, how do you do that? Diyan na papasok yung observations natin kanina. The simplex method can only move to an adjacent feasible corner point if it has an entering variable, meaning mayroong 0 na magiging positive and it has a leaving variable, may positive na magiging 0 as we have observed earlier. Kaya sa step 5 ng simplex, makikita na natin ito as a necessary condition to move to an adjacent feasible corner point. You now have to choose an entering variable. So a variable is a candidate for EV if its coefficient in the 0 is negative for maximization. So dito tayo. Since maximization problem tayo, dito tayo. If you work on a minimization problem, then you have to change the condition to if a 0 is positive for minimization. Okay? So ngayon, candidate for entering variable, basta't negative yung coefficient niya sa 0. Okay? Rule, choose the variable with the most negative or positive coefficient for maximization and minimization. The corresponding column becomes your pivot column. So balik tayo. On the basis of this, we say that the current iteration or corner point is not yet optimal kasi negative pa yung coefficient ng non-basic variable. Okay? Yung optimality test natin. So, hindi pa siya optimal. So, next step is to choose an entering variable. Sabi naman sa step 5, the variable that qualifies as entering variable is the one that has a negative coefficient in the objective function row. So magko-qualify yung itong variable na to, itong non-basic variable. Remember, the non-basic variable is the variable that is zero, that is assumed to be zero. We want to make it positive in the next corner point or in the next iteration. Okay, so therefore, we have to choose it as the entering variable. But here, okay lang, go ahead. But here, we have two options, either x1 or x2. We have two options to choose from, x1 or x2. Okay, so since both have negative coefficients, both are qualified to be entering variable. Ang qualification lang, dapat negative yung coefficient. Since both x1 and x2 have negative coefficients, you can make any of these two as your entering variable. But as a rule, para uniform tayong lahat sa pagpili, we always choose the most negative for maximization problems. Pag minimization problems naman, we choose the most positive pag maraming positive coefficients. So in this case, since we're choosing the most negative, then this one becomes our entering variable. And this column, since pinili ko yung most negative, which is x2, the column of x2 becomes what we call the pivot column or the pivot column. Okay? So, yun lang yung sinasabi ng step 5. Okay? So, napili na natin yung most negative and na-label na natin yung pivot column. Okay? So again, entering variable is the zero variable in this iteration in corner point O that will become positive in the next iteration. Okay? Magiging positive na yung value nung variable na yon. So x2 is 0 now. Expect it at corner point A to have a value. Okay? To have a value. So next, choose a leading variable. The leading variable is a positive variable in this iteration that will become 0 in the next iteration. The goal is to maintain two variables at 0. So therefore, to get the leading variable, you get the ratio of the solution column to the corresponding pivot column element. The variable with the least ratio is selected as EV. So balik tayo. Okay? Ratio daw between the solution column. So I'll put the ratio here. Okay? Ratio between the solution column element and the pivot column element. So, tingnan nyo to ha, itong pivot column. Itong naka-rectangular box na to. Okay, look at this. You have to get the ratio. Sa constraints lang, not the objective ha. Get the ratio. 20 by the corresponding element sa pivot column 2. Get the ratio. The ratio will be 20 divided by 10. 20 divided by 2, that will be 10. And then the ratio, 12 divided by 1, that would be 12. And then 20 divided by 1, that would be 20. Okay? So the algorithm tells you to get the ratio between the solution column elements and the pivot column, corresponding pivot column elements. So once you get the ratio, you're supposed to choose the minimum, the smallest ratio. And I'll tell you the reason why. Okay, quickly. Kasi if you don't choose the minimum ratio and you choose 12 or 20 as your leading variable, then the next iteration becomes infeasible. Yun yung reason kung bakit ito yung pipiliin natin. So this now becomes your pivot row and your leading variable. So far, ang nagawa natin is napili natin entering variable is x2. Tapos napili natin leading variable is this. Okay, ito, s1. We call this the pivot row. Okay? So we now have a pivot column, yung column ng X2, yung entering variable. And this is your leaving variable. And we now have a pivot row, which is the row of the leaving variable S1. The element that is the intersection between the pivot column and the pivot row, itong 2 na to, ito, okay, is your pivot element. Okay? So, the output of step 5 is to choose an entering variable and a leaving variable. Okay? Label niyo yung pivot column and pivot row para magamit natin sa step 6. Okay? But this is the output. You have an entering variable and a leaving variable. So, ulitin ko. X2 is 0 now sa corner point O. By making it entering variable, it means that when you move to the next iteration, X2 is supposed to become positive. It will now become a basic variable. S1 is equal to 20 right now. It's a basic variable. Okay? When you say leaving variable yung S1, it will now leave its basic state. In other words, from a basic variable, magiging non-basic variable na siya sa susunod na iteration kasi from positive 20, magiging 0 na siya. Kaya siya yung leaving variable. Okay? So, this much we know at this point. S1 is 20 right now. When you move to the next iteration, it becomes 0. So, alam mo na yung value ng S1 sa next iteration. Si X2, ang alam mo, 0 siya ngayon. Since entering variable siya, magiging positive siya sa iteration 1, sa iteration 2. Wala. Corner point A. Pero ano yung value niya? Alam mo magiging positive siya, pero anong value niya? Yun yung ratio. Yun yung significance of getting the ratio. The ratio tells you that this will be the value of X2 in the next iteration. Pag naging basic variable na siya. X2 from 0, magiging 10 siya sa susunod na iteration. Okay? Pag pinili nyo naman yung S2, sabi ko, di ba? Don't choose the ratio that is not minimum. Pag pinili nyo tong 12 as your ratio, as your leaving variable, so in which case, 12 means S2 ang leaving variable. Pag pinili nyo yung S2 as leaving variable, it only tells you that your X2, being the entering, will be equal to 12 in the next iteration. So therefore, the ratio column, the ratio that you take or that you compute, actually tells you the value of your entering variable in the next iteration if these variables are chosen as leaving variable. Ulitin ko para clear. If I select S1, the minimum ratio, as my leaving variable, my entering variable X2 will be equal to 10 in the next iteration. Kasi yun yung ratio eh. Pag pinili ko naman si S2 as leaving variable, X2 will be equal to 12 in the next iteration. Pag pinili ko si S3 as my leaving variable, X2 will be 20 in the next iteration. Okay? So to sum it up, the ratio gives you the value of the entering variable in the next iteration if that variable is selected, if S1, S2, S3 is selected as leaving variable. And as I've said earlier, we do not choose S2 and S3. Kasi if we choose S2 and S3 as leaving variable, hindi sila minimum ratio, it will make the next iteration infeasible. Magkakaroon ng isang variable at least isang variable na magne-negative yung value. Kaya hindi natin siya pwedeng piliin kasi dapat feasible ang solution natin, yung optimal solution natin. Okay? So those are the reasons. I hope you can just go through this recording and try to understand what I'm saying. Okay? So may leaving variable na tayo. We have done this already. Okay? Okay. May mga ano lang, rules lang, no, na sinasabi dito. If the pivot column element of the variable, of the entering variable, EV yan, entering variable, is non-positive, then that variable does not qualify as leaving variable. So sinasabi lang, dito sa column na to, entering variable column, when we get the ratio 20 divided by 2, 20 by 2, okay, 12 by 1, 20 by 1. When we get the ratio, we have to look at the pivot column elements. Itong column na to. Pag may 0 or negative dito, hindi siya qualified. Don't get the ratio. So dito magulo na siya, pero I will make a bigger circle. Ito. Yan. Yan. Okay? If any of these elements here, itong 211, are 0 or negative, don't get the ratio. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya pwede as leaving variable. In other words, you will only get the ratio between the solution column and the pivot column element if the element is positive. Okay? You will only get the ratio if the element is positive. Otherwise, don't get the ratio. Next. So, okay na yan. The corresponding variable or row chosen is the pivot row. Na-label na rin natin yung pivot row. And yung intersection or yung element common to the pivot row and the pivot column is called the pivot element. So we're done with that. Okay, last step. Reflect the new solution in the simplex tableau. So ito na yung, dito na yung papasok yung Gauss Jordan, yung natutunan ninyo sa inyong Indomat. Okay? So this is how it looks. First is divide the pivot row by the pivot element, and then all the other coefficients in the pivot column should be made 0. Okay, so once you do step 6, after you do step 6, you go to step 7, ibig sabihin, check for optimality ulit. Okay, so I will just do this quickly for the 3 that are still here, and if for the 4 that are still here, I'll do this. If you have to leave, I will continue my lecture pa rin para nasa recording, and you can take this to your independent learning week. Okay, so the problem here, what's the tableau again? So I will just write down. Okay, yes, John, you have to go. Unmute yourself if you need to tell me anything. Okay, iteration 1. Kokopyahin ko lang to kasi kailangan natin as reference. Basis, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, solution. Okay, then you have first row is Z. Okay, Adrian. S1, S2, S3. Okay, and then solution. And then you have -4, -5, 0, 0, 0. Remember, these are your basic variables. These are your non-basic variables. And then, what's the coefficient again? 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1. Then you have your identity matrix. Then sa solution column, you have 0, 20, 12, 20. And we have already determined that this one being the most negative coefficient is your entering variable. And we have determined that this one, 10, 12, and 20, the ratio, minimum ratio is 10. So we choose this as our leaving variable. Okay? So now, to proceed, iteration 2, sabi dito, you have to set up this table all over again. Okay. This is where you have to identify, no? Okay. So now, since since x2 is a entering variable, the mix of basic and non-basic will now change. So you now have to label. Okay, x1 is retained. Okay, it remains to be your non-basic variable. But this time, x2 is a basic variable. Since it's the entering variable, it means that it is 0 in iteration 1, but in iteration 2, it will now be positive 10. As we said earlier, it will be positive 10. So it becomes a basic variable. S1 is a living variable. You selected S1 as the living variable. So therefore, from positive, S1 will become 0. So therefore, S1 is now a non-basic variable. And S2 is still basic. S3 is still basic. So take note that we still continue to have two non-basic variables or two variables at 0 level. So as a start, no, since bago pa lang kayo gumagamit nito, it is good if you can label the variables muna. Para later on sa optimality test, it's easy kung saan kayo titingin. You only have to look at the non-basic variable coefficients in the zero. So, how's the transition? From iteration 1 to iteration 2, the first thing that you do is to identify the variables. Ang mangyayari sa basis variable, sa basic column, hindi na S1, S2, S3. You now have to look at your labels here. The basic variables are now X2, S2, and S3 because X2 replaces S1. And that's the purpose why we are labeling this as the pivot row and the pivot column, okay? Para makita natin that these two will interchange. So X2 will now come here. S1 will disappear. Kasi pag wala siya sa basic column, ibig sabihin zero siya, non-basic siya. Kaya magdi-disappear na siya from this column. So therefore, the first step is to write X2, S2, and S3. Okay, that's the first step. So nagpalit na from S1, S2, S3, X2 has become a basic variable. As can be seen also in our initial label here, X2 and S3, X2, S2, and S3 are the basic variables. So once you get that correctly, okay, the rest is Indumat stuff. Okay, you have to be able to follow instructions. So sabi dito, let's go back. Okay, divide the pivot row, which is this is the pivot row, by the pivot column element. Okay, by the pivot element. Remember, the pivot element is the intersection between the pivot column and the pivot row. So etong two. So the idea of dividing by the pivot element is to make this 1. Okay? Kasi remember, this is the coefficient of x2. So if the coefficient becomes 1, then it makes it easy for me to read the value here. Okay? So makikita natin na kapag naging 1 ito, this one becomes 10. Okay? Which is exactly the ratio. Diba? 20 divided by 2. If we divide this by 2, this becomes 10, and that is the value of x2 in this iteration, which is 10. Okay? So the purpose of dividing by 2 is so that we will be able to see the value of x2 in the next iteration. And again, last thing is that since these are equations, remember, itong tableau na to, nilipat lang natin yung z equation at saka yung tatlong equations natin sa constraints into the table. We simply transfer the coefficients into the table and then the right-hand side into the table. So basically, each row represents an equation. So we know that in systems of equation, if you divide an equation, the whole equation by a number, it does not change the sense of that equation. It is still the same equation. So kahit i-divide ko, sabi dito sa letter A, divide the pivot row by the pivot element. If I divide this whole row by 2, the coefficient of this x2 row becomes 1/2, 1, 1/2, 0, 0, and 10. Okay? this equation, this resulting equation after dividing by 2 is still the same equation as this one. I'm not changing anything. It is still the same first equation in your constraint. Okay? Because you're allowed to do that. Right? So again, treat each row as an equation, and therefore, whatever manipulations you do with the equations, whether you divide the whole equation by a number, multiply the whole equation by a number, you can even add two equations and produce another equation without changing the system of equations. You can do all of that because the tableau simply represents a system of equations, a system of linear equations. Okay, so that's the first step. And then letter B, all the other coefficients in the pivot column, ito yung pivot column, okay, have to be made 0. In other words, this is the pivot column. After dividing this row by 2, naging 1 na to. Ito na yun, naging 1 na. Dapat gawin kong 0 lahat ito. Okay? And how I can make it 0 is by manipulation. Ibig sabihin, I can simply use this as my basis. Okay? As my basis. And then, since 1 naman yung coefficient na to, I can multiply this equation by any number. Okay? I can multiply this equation by any number so that if I add it or I subtract it to another equation, the coefficients will change. Again, multiplying by a number does not change the sense of this equation. And adding this equation to another equation does not change the system of linear equations. You're allowed to do that. Parang ginagawa lang natin is elimination. We're eliminating this equation by addition or by subtraction and changing the coefficient. Okay? So when you're solving for the corner point, di ba, you get two equations, the equations that intersect to form that corner point, and then you eliminate one of the variables by adding or subtracting. Di ba? And you get the value of x1 or x2. You did not change the system of equations. You simply manipulated it. Same thing here. What we will do is we will multiply this row, okay, that we have converted to 1. Okay, we will multiply this row by a number, okay, and then add it to this row in order to make this 0. Okay, ganun din gagawin natin sa lahat. And I will show you, I will illustrate that to you. So the purpose is kasi meron tayong mga rules kanina. Ito. Okay? Sabi natin, the constraint coefficients of the basic variables, nasa left side ako should form an identity matrix. Since x2 is now a basic variable, dapat for it to form an identity matrix, dapat 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And that's the reason why we have to make this 0, we have to make this 0, and we have to make this 0 also kasi, number 1, at all times, the simplex tableau should be such that the coefficients of the basic variables in the 0 are all 0. Since x2 is a basic variable, the coefficient here has to be 0. Cannot stay at -5. We have to make this 0 to satisfy this one. Okay? And we have to make this 2 0, okay, in order to satisfy this one naman na maging identity matrix. Okay? So that's the logic and the reason behind the procedure, behind step 6. Okay? Why we have to make it 0. So just an illustration, to make this 0, I need to add 5 to this. So therefore, what I will do is I will multiply this row by 5 para maging 5 ito, and then I will add this equation to this equation here para maging 0 siya. Okay? So to illustrate, I've run out of space, so I think I will choose. Let me write here. Okay? So multiplying, so look at the right side, multiplying this row by 5, I will get 5 halves, 5, 5 halves, 0, 0, and 50. Okay? And then add. So I now have the same equation. Okay? This, after multiplying by 5, I have this on the left side of your screen. It's the same equation. I will add this equation now to this equation in the system. Okay, so negative 4, negative 5, 0, 0, 0, 0. So after adding, so let's add. So you will get 5 halves minus 4, that would be negative 3 halves. 5 minus 5 will be 0. 5 halves plus 0 is 5 halves, 0, 0, and then 50. So all I did was to add. So after adding, this becomes your new objective function row. So ililipat ko na ngayon yan dito. So I will copy and transfer negative 3 halves, 0, 5 halves, 0, 0, and 50. Okay? So take note that we have already satisfied the first requirement of every simplex tableau, which says that at any iteration, the simplex tableau should be such that the coefficients in the z row, okay, the coefficients in this row, objective function row, of all the basic variables should be 0. Okay? I have already satisfied that condition. Next, I will try to satisfy the identity matrix. The basic variables now should form an identity matrix in this order. Okay, so if your order here is x2, s2, s3, dapat yung x2 yung 1, 0, 0, s2 yung 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, s3 yung 0, 0, 1. So now, to do that, I would have to apply the same technique, okay, of using this row, multiplying it with a number and adding it here to make it 0. Okay, so since this is 1, all I have to do is multiply this row by negative 1. Para pag naging negative 1 ito, I will add it to this one, it becomes 0. So the objective is to just convert this to 0, this one to 0, and this one to 0. Okay? So to do that, I will multiply this by negative 1. So let's do it here. Let's try to do it here. Sa taas naman ha. So if I multiply by negative 1, it becomes negative 1 half, negative 1, negative 1 half, 0, 0, and negative 10. Then add natin itong row na to. Itong row na gusto nating gawing 0. So 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. 1, 1, 0, 1, 0. Okay? And then 12. Okay? Then add. 1 minus 1 half is 1 half. 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. Negative 1 half plus 0 is negative 1 half. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 12 minus 10 is 2. Transfer this now. Remember, you're trying to make this 0, no? Ito yung inad natin. This coefficient here, ito yung inad natin. So, replace the coefficients now by the result. 1 half, 0. Again, I'm not changing the system of equations. I'm simply manipulating them. 1, 0, and 2. So now, you have obtained your goal of making this 0. Last step is to make this 0. Okay? So again, to make this 0, laging ito yung reference mo. Okay? Then, multiply this again by negative 1. Okay? Multiply by negative 1 and add this last row. Okay? So, let me put it here. I cannot erase this, so let me put it here. Multiply this by negative 1 again, this one. So negative 1 half. Negative 1. Negative 1 half. 0, 0, and 10. And then add the last row here in the previous iteration. That is 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, and 20. And let's, since wala nang space, let's just do mental addition, which is very easy. Okay? So, 2 minus 1/2, that's 3 halves. So you can now put it here. So as you add, you can now transfer. That's 3 halves. Then go back to the left side of your screen. 1 minus 1. Okay, 1 minus 1 is 0. So you put it here. 0 minus 1/2 is negative 1/2. You put it here. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 20. Hold on. I multiplied by negative 1. So this one should be negative 10. Okay. I multiplied this row by negative 1 so that if I add it to this one, it becomes 0. So multiplying by negative 1, this one has to be negative 10. Tama. Okay. So therefore, this one is 20 minus 10. That would give us 10. So yun. Natapos na natin yung step 6. And as you can see, there are 3 requirements. Ito, no? There are 3 requirements here. The first is dapat 0 to. Lahat ng coefficients ng basic variables in the objective function should be 0. So 0, 0, 0. Next, the second requirement is the constraint coefficients of the basic variables. So these are the 3 basic variables. The constraint coefficient should be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. It should form an identity matrix. So okay na rin to. So check, check. And then the last is the values of z and all the basic variables can be read on the solution column. So this table shows us that z is equal to 50, x2 is equal to 10, which was obtained from the ratio earlier. Sabi ko, the ratio represents the value of your entering variable in the next iteration if this variable is chosen as leaving variable. So since we chose S1 as leaving variable and the ratio here is 10, 10 represents the value of x2 in the next iteration. That's why x2 is equal to 10. Okay? And S2 is 2, S3 is 10. That simply means that your solution in this iteration is as follows. And ibabalik ko kayo ngayon dito sa corner point natin kanina. Here. Okay? So, take note that iteration 1 ito. Okay? And nakita natin sa iteration 1, hindi pa optimal. So, we created iteration 2 sa simplex. So, this is your iteration 2. As you can see, it moved from corner point O. So, let me label. Iteration 1 is your corner point O. And then, when you move to iteration 2, you are now, the search process is now at corner point A. Paano ko nalaman na A? Tingnan niyo yung values. X1 and S1 are 0. You don't see X1 and S1 here, meaning they are non-basic and they are 0. Okay? And then X2, look at the left side of your screen, corner point A, X2 is 10. You will see that X2 is 10. Left side of your screen, corner point A, S3 is 2. You will see S2, this one, S2 is 2. You will see that S2 is 2. And then S3 is 10 on the left side, corner point A, S3 is 10. And your Z, left side, corner point A, is 50, your Z is 50. So you know that you have successfully moved the simplex iteration from corner point O to an adjacent corner point A. And this is your solution for corner point A. So go back to step 4. Go back to step 4. Check if it's optimal already. As I've said, To check for optimality, all you have to do is look at the non-basic variables, the coefficients in the zero. Dito lang kayo titingin for optimality. Kasi optimality concerns your z value. Okay, optimality concerns your z value, and therefore, dito lang tayo titingin sa z. Okay? And we look at the non-basic variables lang, x1 and x2. Huwag na natin pansinin yung mga zero coefficients. So again, the rule is for maximization, if non-negative na lahat, optimal na. Pero pag may negative pa, hindi pa siya optimal pag maximization. Since this is the maximization problem, you will see that this is okay already, but this one is not yet okay. Negative pa siya eh. So, ibig sabihin, it's not yet optimal. Meaning, if it's not yet optimal, sabi doon, next step, choose an entering variable ulit. So, uulit na lang yung procedure. So, to choose an entering variable, ang rule natin is to choose the most negative non-basic variable coefficient in the objective function row. So, since isa lang naman yung negative coefficient dito, automatic. This one becomes your entering variable. Okay? And then, balik lang ulit tayo, ratio. Get the ratio. Okay? Ratio between the solution column, okay, this one, and the pivot column element ratio. Take note that if there's something zero here or negative, it does not qualify. Kailangan positive yung coefficient dito for you to get the ratio. Okay? So 10 by 1/2 is 20. So you just write down the ratio. Then 2 by 1/2 is 4. And then 10 by 3/2 is 20 over 3 or 6.67. Obviously, the minimum ratio here is 4. So therefore, this one becomes your pivot row. Okay, this one becomes your pivot row. This becomes your pivot element. And this variable becomes your leaving variable. Okay, this becomes your leaving variable. Okay, so once you have that, okay, you can go back to step 6, letter A, divide the whole column by 1/2. Divide the whole pivot row by 1/2 to get to the next iteration. Okay, again, the reason for dividing is so that this becomes 1 and mag-exchange ngayon yung x1 tsaka s2. So let me just set up iteration 3 pero kayo na mag-complete nito. Okay? Using what I've discussed para ma-check ninyo kung naintindihan ninyo. So setting up iteration 3. So this time, as expected, if you see as at the left side, iteration 3 will actually move you from corner point A to corner point B. And alam natin, last na to, optimal na kasi. So basis, then x, just write down all the variables here, x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, and then your solution, column. And then the first row is always z. And then here, the easiest way to determine this is to just tell yourself, swap lang ito. Magsaswap lang yung pivot column tsaka pivot row. Yung x1 tsaka x2. Okay? This one will just swap. This one will disappear. X1 will replace it. So therefore, x2, x1, x2, x1, and s3 dapat. Okay, x2, s1, and s3. And then, for good measure, as I always said, pag nagsa-start pa lang kayo, label. Label nyo ano yung basic, ano yung non-basic. Very easy. Whatever is on the left side, Whatever is on this side, yan yung basic. Whatever is not here, yun yung non-basic. Okay? So therefore, x2, x1 are both basic. S3 is basic, and as expected, you need to always have two non-basic variables in every iteration. So S1 and S2 are non-basic. And then, to start it off, you can get the third row, divide everything by 1/2 or multiply everything by 2. So if I multiply everything by 2, this becomes 1, 0, -1, multiply by 2, this becomes 2, 0, and 4. So let's put it there. Ano ulit? Multiply by 2, 1, 0, -1. Two, multiply by 2, that's 2. Multiplied by 2, that's 0, and 4. Okay? So once you have this, ito na ngayon yung basis nyo. Ito yung mumultiplyan nyo. What you have to do now is to make this 0, 0. Sabi doon sa procedure natin, we have to make this 0, 0. Okay? And this one 0 also. We have to make them 0. Again, the reason is kasi lahat ng basic variables, yung rule natin, no, in any iteration, lahat ng basic variables sa 0, dapat 0 yung coefficient. Okay? That's the rule. And the other rule is, the reason why we have to make this 0 and 0 is because the basic variables x1, x2, and s3 have to form an identity matrix in the constraint. Okay? So therefore, pag nag-manipulate na kayo later on, dapat ito yung order na ifa-follow natin. x2, x1, and s3. So x2 should be 1, 0, 0. Okay? So dapat x2, itong x2 column should be 1, 0, 0. Ang x1 should be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. And yung s3 should be 0, 0, 1. So dapat ito yung lalabas to satisfy the Tableau requirements. You have to satisfy those requirements in any iteration. So pag nag-a-add na kayo, nag-Gauss Jordan na kayo, nag-a-add na kayo, tapos hindi lumabas yan, ibig sabihin there's something wrong with your addition. Okay? So now all you have to do is to make this your reference point. Ito. Ito na ngayon yung basis mo. Ano yung multiply mo dyan para pag in-add mo dito, maging 0 to. So the first is to multiply everything by 3/2. Gawin ko na. Roswell, you're the only one here, so I'll just do it. Okay, multiply this by 3/2. So you will now have 3/2 times 3/2 to, no? 0, -3/2. 3/2 times 2 is 3. 0. 4 times 3/2 is 6. And then you copy the original row. Ito, -3/2, 0, 5/2, 0, 0, 50. Copy. And then add. So this now becomes 0. This is 0. This is 5/2 minus 3/2 is 1. 3, 0, 56. Okay? So copy this now into the first row, the one that you're transforming to 0. So that's 0, 0. So tama. 0, 0, 1, 3, tama, 0, and then 56. So as you can see, without me doing the other rows, left side of your screen, we have already successfully moved to corner point B, where x1, okay, x1 is 4. Okay, x1 is 4, and your z, this one, is 56. Okay, z is 56. Okay, so it's a matter of filling up the rest, no? So gawin na natin. So, we are here. Okay, so let me, para hindi kayo malito, we haven't determined this yet. We haven't determined this, this, and this. Okay, so we are here at this point. We need to make this 0. So, second row. Ito, we need to make this 0. To make this 0, I have to add negative 1/2 to this. Okay, add negative 1/2. So, that means I have to multiply this whole row by negative 1/2 to make this negative 1/2. Okay, so doing that, I will now have negative 1/2, 0, positive 1/2. So, I'm multiplying this row by negative 1/2. No? So, negative 1/2 times 2 is negative 1. Negative 1/2 times 0 is 0. Negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2. So basically, I multiply this row by negative 1/2 to get this. Okay? Let's just separate. And then, just add the second row from here. If only I can copy paste. No? I think I can, pero I don't know how. So 1/2, 1, 1/2. Then 0, 0, 10. 1/2, 1, 1/2. Then 0, 0, 10. So add. This becomes 0. This becomes 1. This becomes 1, negative 1, 0, and 8. Then you copy to the new second row. So 0, 1, 1, negative 1, 0, and 8. Okay? And then lastly, the last row is this one is 3/2. So I need to add negative 3/2 to make this 0. So negative 3/2 dapat. So I need to multiply this row by negative 3/2. Okay? Negative 3/2. So multiplying by negative 3/2, I still can see it. So negative 3/2. So let's separate. Negative 3/2. Okay? Times negative 3/2. Okay, what is this? Times negative 3/2 is 0. Okay, so just multiply everything by negative 3/2. So you'll have 0, positive 3/2, negative 3, 0, and negative 6. Then you copy the last row, which is this one. Okay, this one. So you have 3/2, 0, negative 1/2, 0, 1. Negative 1/2, 0, 1. And then the last entry there is 10. Then you add. So adding, you have 0, 0, 1, negative 3, 1, and 4. So copy it here sa last row. 0, 0, 1, negative 3, 1, and 4. Okay? So going back to iteration 3, you will see now that x2 is 8. So the left side of your screen in corner point B, x2 is 8. Okay, ito yun. X1 is 4. So you see it here. X1 is 4. And then S3 is 4 also. Ito, sa left side. Okay? S3 is 4 also. And then your Z value is 56. So this is proof that you have already moved from corner point A to corner point B. And you will see that all of our requirements for the tableau are satisfied. You have your identity matrix, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 for the basic variables and 0, 0, 1. You have all coefficients of basic variables, 0 to be 0 in the first row. And then the values on the left, on the right side, yung solution column, are exactly the values of your variables here. Okay? Dito sa corner point B. Okay? And then, if you check optimality, go back to step 4, you now look at this one, this non-basic variables lang. And since both of them are already positive, okay, then your conclusion is, therefore, you've reached the optimal, okay, optimal solution. And to write your optimal solution, this is the complete optimal solution. X1 is 4, X2 is 8. S1 is 0. S2 is 0. S3 is equal to 4. And Z is equal to 56. This is your complete optimal solution to the problem using simplex method. Okay? So for your homework, I'll ask you to work on a minimization problem. Okay, this one. Okay, this will be your assignment. So therefore, the optimality criterion will change. Hindi na negative yung hinahanap nyo, kundi positive na. Pag may positive, entering variable yon. So that's, just check the procedure. This is a procedure where the more you do it, the more familiar you get, just like anything. And then the less mistakes you're going to make, especially doon sa multiplication, then addition. Okay? Marami nagkakamali doon sa Gauss-Jordan, no, yung sa pag-manipulate ng mga equations to get the identity matrix.